Okay, welcome back to the second part in the Logigate series. We have covered this thing in the previous video, and if you haven't watched that, be sure to check that out. This is the basic stuff with pulse shorteners and stuff and memory things. And yeah, we're gonna cover clocks now. So basic clocks, we got the basic looped clock, very basic, not that difficult, but yeah, just generates a one-tick pulse, gives it in the thing, and the switch enables this AND gate, and that way the pulse can travel through. And yeah, that's basically it. When the switch turns off, then the AND gate won't allow any pulses through anymore, and that's how the clock stops. That's the basic principle of this clock. Then we got the other clock, the variable clock, that you can change the clock speed of.
It's probably the standard.
Yeah, everyone uses this. Just everyone uses this. We hooked up this thing over here. We ANDed these four together. And if you have an output on this one, that means all these four are on, and that way you can see you have a 4-tick
at
least signal. But if you do it like that, then you'll test if it's 5 ticks. And yeah, so we'll see in a minute if it's 5 ticks or not, and if it's not, then this won't go on. And if you're not able to see if it goes on or not, just attach a memory cell to it, and you will be able to see it. Now, as you can see, this clock, it just pulses if you turn on the AND gate, and this will be able to turn on because these four are on at the same time. But if you do it like this, it won't pulse anymore. Was it pulsing on your side?
Yeah, it's pulsing occasionally.
Alright, so yeah, you got the footage. Alright, next part. Clocks that are freaking fast. We got the XOR memory cell, but what if we change it to a NAND? What happens then? Well, we got this. It's turning on and off really fast, even so fast the FPS cannot handle it. And yeah, it'll do weird stuff to everything that makes noise. And we got this thing over here. What the hell is this?
It's just hooked up to... don't know what these AND gates are for, but we've got it hooked up to...
I have no idea.
the XOR.
Yeah. I have no idea why the XOR is turning on and off so fast though. Oh, maybe because we need a pulse shortener.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, I have no idea.
It's just frame drop.
Yeah, it's just too fast, but we'll see in a minute what this does, because this is something interesting and way in handy for making counters and stuff. But on to the next part. We got legit clocks as well, because this is not legit, it's self-wired. So we got the legit 1-tick pulser, and just all NAND gates looped into each other. Yeah, basically just looped into each other. It doesn't matter if you cross it like that. You can also do it like this.
You just need 4 in a loop.
Yeah, indeed. So just loop them like that. Why is it crossed?
I think that's just how I wired it up. Because I felt like it. It looks cooler.
Yeah, but just 4 NAND gates in a loop. And if the switch turns them off at the same time...
The switch is attached to all of them. So yeah, they all the switch turns all of them off at the same time, so it doesn't glitch. Well, it kind of does, because that's... It looks like glitching, but it's the kind of glitching you want.
Yeah, for 1-tick pulses. Now, what if we want 2-tick pulses to be compact? Because you cannot do 2-tick pulses with this thing. This is limited to 4-tick pulses minimum.
3. sure. If it's...
Yeah, if you change the timer for an AND gate, then it will be 3, yeah. Yeah, 3. But that will be the minimum 3 if you make it an AND gate. But what if you want 2 ticks? Then you have this thing, or you can just use this thing over here, which is shown in the previous video. This is the signal creator. You can also use that and put a 1-tick pulsar in front. No, wait, a 4-tick pulsar, right?
Yeah, it has a 1-tick pulsar in front anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, no, a shortener. If you get a clock of 4 ticks and you put it in front of it, and the signal creator is put to 2 ticks signal, then it'll be a 2-tick signal creator as well. But this is a better one. This thing, this compact, and it'll create 2 ticks. So this thing turns on if it's 2 ticks on. So these 2 are on, but it doesn't turn on anymore if there is 3 ticks, 3 gates, and it's together. Is it on your screen?
Yes, it is.
All right. So you got the proper footage.
Yeah, right, it shows up. It's just not the right speed. Gates triggering in completely the wrong order.
All right. This is basically the same as this one, but just an AND, an OR, an OR. No wait, an AND, an NAND, and NAND. Yeah, and NAND and NAND.
Just alternate between them.
Yeah, and the NANDs are turned off at the same time, and that's how it makes a 2-tick signal. All right, on to the next thing. This thing is pretty damn handy. You know the XOR? It generates a it goes on a 1-tick pulse like that. But if you want specific XORs to be on your creation when you put it on a lift, then it's kind of annoying if you want to press a button, you know? So if you want it to be on a lift, then just make this series a series of AND, NAND, NAND, or AND, NOR, NOR, doesn't really matter, and then into the XOR. And if you put this on the left, then the XOR will be automatically on. Because if this thing is loaded on the left, every gate starts with a default value of 0. But these 2 will turn on at the same time, these NANDs. And this NAND doesn't realize yet that this is getting a 1 value of the previous NAND. And so it gives its signal onto the XOR. And then 1 tick later, it realizes, oh, I need to turn off because the previous one is on. And that is how the 1-tick pulse is generated when it's taken on the lift. So that's a good enough explanation?
Yeah.
Alright, on to the next thing. Counters and shift registers. So we'll do your complicated shift register first.
We're doing the complicated one first, not the simple one first.
Alright, it would load. We'll do the simple one first. So you give it a signal on the first bit, let's say, and these 2 buttons can shift the bit left and right. So if you want to shift it right, left, then you can do that, and if you want to shift it right, like that. It's pretty damn easy. It just all the signals of the XORs go into an OR gate or an AND gate, doesn't really matter, and they go into these 2 layers. Now, if this button is pressed, then this layer will activate, and the value of the XOR will go into this layer, and it will deactivate this XOR because that's the one that's on, and then it will activate the next one. And that is how it shifts right, and the same is for the left thing. So if this one is on, or let's say this one is on, then it will go into this one, and it will reset this one, and it will set the next one. But because it's 1-tick pulses, it's basically set and reset, not flip anymore, right? Now, the other one you created.
So this is also a two-way shift register, but this one uses D flip-flops instead of the T flips.
Yeah, and it cannot handle spam.
No, but it's got a 3-tick generator at the start, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
so,
true.
Okay, so the yellow switch sets the direction. White and black switches are inputs, and then you use the button to update it. So if I press the button now, shift across.
Shifts. Yeah.
Shift again. Shift it back, and I'll feed some data in at that end.
Yeah.
Go.
So if this is off, then it will shift one way, and if this is on, then it will shift the other way. And that's because it's
they're all D flip-flops.
Yeah.
They're all D flip-flops, and then when this switch is on, each D flip-flop is taking its value from the 1 to its right when it's on, and when it's off, it takes the value from the memory cell to the left. That when you press the button, it either shifts right or left depending on the switch. Just some main gates to choose which direction to look at. You can ignore the rocket jet, by the way.
Or not.
Yeah, these switches are basically just hooked up to the same inputs. The ending on the memory cells at the end, these are hooked up to the same inputs that it would be reading from.
Alright, so this switch over there is hooked to a basic multiplexer that you explained earlier. And that's how it chooses to go left and right, and not 2 buttons like I did. But yeah, you could change this with a switch and an AND and a NOR gate, and then another button to update it like you did. But that's glitchy.
I might have made this before the non-glitchy stuff.
Yeah, that's true. He made this before it, yeah. Now, what happens if you take certain inputs of the shift register, and for an 8-bit it's the 8-bit, the 6th, the 5th and the 4th. What if you take these and input it in the first wait a minute, into the first one? So no, wait, it needs to be not like this, it's directly to the XOR, because it will start twitching, because this one is constantly on. So it needs to go in here, and this is an AND, so I need to disable the button right now. And let's do this. So whenever I press one of these buttons, the signal will enable a write or not a write when this is on or not on. So if we just shift left, you'll see that the signal will create a kinda almost random pattern. And this is something I learned from Icy Fruit. He came with this. Why? He came to me with this.
You had to do it.
What?
And you had to do it. I didn't come up with.
Yeah, true. But you came with a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, basically.
And you made a dice with it, which is pretty cool. But it generates a kind of pseudo-random pattern, which I used in the touchpad dodge. And that's how the pattern of the touchpad dodge was created. But it shifted. It's not only shifted these, but for example, this value would go into here, and this value would go into there, and then it would just kind of randomize them, so it wouldn't be so obvious that it's a pseudo-random generator. Alright, next to the next bit, and these are the counters. We're gonna use your counter first or mine? Because
do the simple one first.
the simple one. Yeah, the simple one is basically this.
Hang on, let me.
Oh, wait, we're gonna reset it first. So we have memory cells like this, and the memory cells, if this turns on, then it will generate a pulse for the next one, and so on. Now, at the moment, these memory cells are all on, and if you turn them off and do this stuff, because this is basically a tick generator, a one tick generator, and this is basically 1 bit of the counter. And this is a binary counter, by the way, not a regular normal counter. So you can see, if you press the button, it will count in binary, and it will only count up. And this is a counter that counts in series, not parallel, but in series. So this has limitations, but it's basic and it works for the normal basic stuff. So if you don't do any complex stuff like removing a number from the binary counter, or counting down, or anything else, then this is the thing to go. Also, if you don't have big numbers. What?
Reset on this?
Oh, and there's no reset. That's the only disadvantage. But you can kinda reset it. If you end this bit like this to an AND gate, and do the same for every bit, and then get a pulse generator that generates 1 tick pulses, and you go like this. No, wait, the output. If the output is, wait a minute, let's just remove this. Alright, and the memory cells all need to be on when it is reset. So that means if this needs to be on, then just take the NOR one, and alright, let me just build this real quick. So the reset is kind of bulky, but yeah, it does have a reset. So you do it like this and this. So this is off and it needs to be turned on. Now, what do? You end the output of the gate, the negative output of the gate, and a pulse generator. Give it a pulse, and this will turn the memory cell on. Now this is on, and next pulse it won't turn on anymore. Now this one is on, and it needs to be reset, so we turn it on again, the pulse generator. And it needs to do as many pulses as the same amount of pulses as the amount of bits there are. So if you have an 8-bit counter, then you need to do 8 pulses. And each pulse has 3 ticks in between of them, so yeah. The reset is kinda bad.
Can't you just end every gate with itself and treat that as the...
What?
That.
Yeah, that's kinda what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're doing it in series.
Yeah, the problem is, if you do that, and the gate turns on to reset, it'll set the next gate.
Yeah, you don't turn it on to reset, you turn it off.
No, you turn the memory cell on to reset.
Why?
Check over here.
Oh, because you're inverting the output.
Yeah, the output is inverted. That's the reason why. And yeah, that's the only disadvantage of this thing.
Only, yeah.
Alright, on to his counter, which can count down and up.
This is a proper counter. I like that rubbish. Let me just hook up the buttons properly, because Brent screwed.
What? The sound cut out.
Change them. Did it? So you changed the inputs earlier, I've got to change them back.
Alright. And these are some XORs I spawned, by the way.
Brent,
some self-wired ones. What? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything. Did you fuckle it up?
You did. Rewired it.
No, I didn't rewire anything.
Why is the reset button not?
Wait. Let me fix it. No idea what I'm doing. Graphics.
Yeah,
like
just
what?
like diagrams.
Okay. But people are just gonna get my stuff, because my stuff is easy, and then they're gonna say, "What the hell did you make?"
Okay.
Alright. So this is the same as this thing, but that doesn't work. And we don't know why.
I don't know what you did, Brent.
I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did.
It's my creation. I'm hardly gonna screw it up, am I? Okay.
Well, you...
I assume we're cutting this bit, by the way. It's kind of ruining the flow of the video.
Yeah, alright.
Alright,
so on to the next thing. This is by Icy Fruit, and it's the counter that can count up, down, and reset. So this is a more advanced one of the thing I made, and it's a parallel one, so it doesn't have delay when you press the buttons and shit, and it's just better. So yeah, as you can see, it can count up and down and stuff. And I'm not even gonna try explain what the hell he did here.
It's not bad. All you do is, if a memory cell has all of the memory cells before it switched on, and you press the increment button, then it should flip. And if all of the memory cells in front of it are off, and you hit the decrement button, then it should flip. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So here, if I hit...
what are those two things doing over here?
Oh, okay, yeah. So when this gets to the very maximum or the minimum, go any further. So if I decrement down to 0...
Oh, well... Yeah. Oh, so it can spawn in an extra bit if you want to count up, isn't it?
If I decrement again, nothing's going to happen. So the brown and purple gates are just testing to see if it's full or empty.
Oh, alright.
Because it disables the input.
Alright. Okay, so that's the basic counting stuff. Now, what if you don't want to count in binary, but what if you want to... And if you want to see how to make a selection grid and stuff, and the other uses of logic gates, then don't forget to check out part 3 of this series, logic gates, and see you in the next one.